We welcome all the participants for day 3 of the Harmony Festival. And we are very happy to have with us Yugala Priti today for a wonderful cooking session on some really good summer special recipes. And without further delay, I request Yugal Priti to begin the session.
Hi, Krishna, everyone. Wonderful. So I'm very grateful and happy to be here today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this exciting cooking session. We're going to be making a few simple preps that are actually really good for the summer season. Now that the summer is approaching and it's getting more and more hot, we need something cooling and refreshing. So hopefully I can share some of those recipes with you today. So perhaps grab a pen and paper if you want to note it down, or maybe we can share also in the group afterwards. And if you have any questions as we're going along, as we're cooking, don't be shy to ask on the chat. We can, keep it interactive as much as we can. And yes, without further ado, let's get started. And before we start any spiritual activity, cooking is also spiritual activity as well, because we're cooking with the intention that we are offering this food to the Lord. That's how it becomes prasadam when we're serve the Lord. So it's kind of a meditation. So it's important whenever we start doing this yagna or sacrifice of cooking, we're using fire here. So it's good to start on a good note, on a spiritual note, to kind of purify our consciousness and, be a bit more spiritual about whatever we do and put good energy into our food. So if you know the prayer, please chant along with me. If not, you can just meditate on the sound vibration. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, Hare Krishna, welcome everyone again. So let's just have a quick, brief overview of what we're going to make today. So to keep you all excited for the session. So I kind of tried to list all the ingredients here. We'll just go briefly. We will start with the Moong Pancakes made from split Moong dal. So what I did, I took the yellow split Moong dal and soaked it overnight in water. So this will be the batter for our Moong Pancakes, which are gluten-free. So if you have any allergies, this is fantastic. And it's actually very light on digestion. So we'll go into that later on. And to this batter, we're gonna add some veggies like carrots. So I already prepped it, shredded carrots, shredded courgette or zucchini that will go into our batter. And then we'll add some spices, some grated ginger here, green chili, and some lemon juice. So we'll come back to this later on. And then the next prep we're gonna make is we're gonna make some chia pudding with coconut milk. So for this, you can use any milk you have, any like plant-based milk, either coconut milk, oat milk, rice milk, almond milk, whatnot. So today we're using coconut milk and we'll add some chia seeds into that and other toppings to make it really nice. And then we can also make cucumber salad. We have some fresh cucumbers here and we'll add some creaminess to that. And finally, we're gonna make some basil pesto, whatever you like, which is one of my favorite sauces to drizzle on like pastas, on the pancakes that we're making today, and any savory dish really goes along with that very nice. So shall we start with the pancakes? So I already blended our batter. So I took the soaked Moong lentils. I drained it in the water till the water starts running nice and clear. So then we add this to a bowl where we're gonna mix with the rest of the ingredients.
How thick should it be?
So it shouldn't be too runny and it shouldn't be too thick. So it's kind of like in the middle somewhere, but it's not a problem if it happens to be too runny. So if you feel that your batter is too runny, you can then add a bit more shredded carrot, right? So we'll check how it is doing. So now we're dumping in the carrot. And if your batter is too thick, like you feel like it's clumpy, then you can just add more water and it solves the problem. And then we adding some courgette. Courgette is actually amazing for the summer because it's very cooling and very nourishing. Then we'll add maybe like a tablespoon of grated ginger. That goes in.
They asked him to provide quantity of ingredients.
Yes, so I soaked 1 cup of lentils, Moong lentils. So the ingredients that I'm telling you now, it kind of yields 8 pancakes, like bigger size pancakes. So I used 1 cup of Moong dal soaked overnight. Then half a cup of grated carrot, half a cup of courgette, then 1 tablespoon of ginger. Now we're gonna squeeze some lime juice. So maybe like 1 lime goes in. Okay, this is not working so well. So we just squeeze 1 lime, make sure that no seeds go in. That adds this kind of zesty flavor, really nice flavor to our pancakes. That should be enough. And then we want to add some green Thai chili. So if you feel like it's a bit too spicy for you, then you can always de-seed it. So here we wash the chili, and now we can cut it open and take the seeds out. In this way, it's not too spicy, but it still gives that nice pungent flavor. And Ayurveda says that, you know, in order to have proper diet or nourishing diet, all the 6 flavors should be there, all the 6 tastes. So let us know in the comments if you know what are those 6 flavors, what are these 6 tastes that Ayurveda talk about that are so crucial for good health and balance in life. So we're just chopping the chili and put it in our batter. And now let's look into some spices that we're gonna add. So we're gonna add some fresh coriander. So maybe like a good tablespoon, even more if you like. I really like coriander, so I'm just generous with that. It's actually coriander. Let me just wash my hands. Coriander or cilantro is great for taking the toxins out from your bone marrow. So like, you know, the 7 tissues that we have in our body, starting with blood, plasma, blood, muscle, fat, bone marrow, and reproductive fluid. So these are the 7 tissues that the food travels through in our body and nourishes us. But at the same time, the toxins in the environment, or the toxins from, you know, air pollution, from antibiotics, whatnot, it also goes the same route. So if your toxins are like accumulating somewhere deeper in the deeper tissues, it's a big problem. It can cause a disease. So cilantro, what it does is actually pulls the toxins out from even the bone marrow, just like famous herb guduchi does, or, you know, giloy. So that's the amazing aspect of cilantro. So you can like make cilantro chutney and, you know, have it with your food every day. You don't need much, maybe like a tablespoon or 2. And here we just adding it to our batter, so to get that nourishing effect. And now let's look into the spices. So we'll use some turmeric, about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. It will give a really nice yellow flavor, and at the same time, it has amazing antibiotic, antibacterial properties. Then we're adding a pinch of hing, very little, maybe like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Hing is very strong, but it does help in digestion. So whenever you're actually cooking with any kind of pulses or legumes, add a bit of hing and it will help you to avoid that gasiness that often can result. And then we're gonna add some Kalonji seeds, which are those tiny black little seeds. And they're becoming more and more famous for its wonderful properties, because it's good for many things, for diabetes, for hypertension. So we don't need much of that, just a tiny pinch. See how lovely it looks. And then we're gonna add some coriander. powder, dhania powder. So again, like a teaspoon of that, and a teaspoon of cumin powder, jeera. So this is our masala for today for the pancakes. I'm just checking if I'm not forgetting anything. Seems okay. So now we're just gonna give it a mix. And of course, salt. Let's not forget some salt. So here we can be generous, maybe like a teaspoon of salt. Actually, a teaspoon and a half, considering the quantity. And give it a nice mix. And see how is your batter coming together. Whether it's too thick you feel, then add a bit more water. Or if it's too runny, add some shredded carrots. And you can actually add more vegetables. Like sometimes I add spinach, you just chop it really nice and small. So you can add spinach, you can add cabbage, that also gives that crunchiness, you know, to your pancakes. So really you could just be creative here. So see, this is about right, you know, that's how we want our batter to be. And now we're gonna let it rest for maybe like 5-10 minutes so that some water escapes from the vegetables and becomes a bit more liquidy. So I hope that was clear. Just gonna put it aside for a moment and proceed with the other preps. Just gonna clear up my space. So when cooking, I was learning how to cook at the manor when I was serving in Bhaktivedanta Manor. And I got the great fortune to serve a wonderful Vaishnavi, Mother Kulandana. So she's Prabhupada's disciple. So she would always tell me that cleanliness is the most important in the kitchen. So she would tell me that, you know, as you're cooking, you're cleaning at the same time. So it's not that you finish your cooking session and there's a pile of dishes or pots, you know, left to clean and, you know, mess all over the place. No, you gotta clean as you go. So that's something important that she trained me, and I'm striving to do that as much as I can. And now let's proceed with some other things that we have in mind. So let's make the pesto. So basil pesto. We are going to, so the basil pesto, the ingredient that we're going to use is some nuts. Today I'm choosing to use pistachio nuts, but here you can use pine nuts, which is like the most traditional way to make pesto with the pine nuts, or you could use even sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, almonds, walnuts, your choice. And then we have a bunch of fresh basil. And we're gonna use some Parmesan cheese. So this is made by devotees here in Mayapur. It's really tasty. So I don't know how they make it, but it's really, really good. And it's nice to buy something that you know is made by devotees. So it's really fortunate. So now we're gonna do, what we're gonna do is we're gonna roast our pistachio nuts for a little bit, just for a few moments. Because when you roast your nuts, what it does, it helps absorption. So there's something called inhibitors in any nuts. And unless you soak it, ideally overnight, these inhibitors really, like, they don't allow you to get the most nutrients from your nuts. So either soak it overnight, or you can, if you're like, you know, rushing or something, then you can just toast it a little bit on the pan, and that heat will help. Let us know if you have any questions or doubts on what's happening here. So don't let your nuts burn. You can like move it a little bit. So we're gonna blend the nuts. I'm not sure if I should use this one, maybe the other one. So once you feel that flavor coming out from your nuts, that's about it. You're done.
Quantity of nuts?
So for this, we're using about 1/4 cup, maybe 1/3 of a cup. So it depends like how much of the basil pesto you want to make. So we're making like a, you know, like a cup of the pesto sauce. So for this, you need like 1/4 cup of nuts. I wish you could smell it. It's like really wonderful aroma coming out of this. So now we just put it in the blender. And we're gonna add to this some Parmesan cheese, just a few slices. It also adds that creaminess to the pesto and that cheesy, lovely flavor. So a few slices of that. And we need some lime juice as well. So maybe like a tablespoon of lime juice goes in as well.
So someone was concerned about those black little seeds that you used.
Kalonji. Kalonji, yeah, these are powerful ones. Grab this lid, I don't know what, oh, here. Yeah, these are really good ones. You can add it to your masalas if you're making masalas at home. For example, I'll show you. I like to make my own masalas. So for this one, did I use Kalonji? No, this one I didn't use. But for example, so this is like energizing masala, which I just grind my spices that, you know, are really helping with digestion. If you have like a low fire of digestion and you need a bit of like help from the spices. So what I do, I add different spices like coriander, fenugreek, cumin, ajwain, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon, cardamom seeds, and salt. And I just grind it. And then this masala I use either when I'm cooking before, like I add it to my pot of sabji or something, or I add it at the end with the, like, you know, cook it in ghee for let the flavors to come out, and then you sprinkle. So same with Kalonji, you can make different, yeah, like for example, this one, I finished it already, but this digestive masala, which is really good again, if you have like, they call it Vishama Agni, like unsteady digestion. Sometimes you're hungry, sometimes you're not. Sometimes your appetite is like, you feel like you could eat anything, and sometimes you don't, like it's irregular, right? So this is digestive masala that helps to digest also toxins in your body. So for this, I usually put coriander, 2 tablespoons, then fennel, cumin, kalonji seeds, and turmeric. And I grind it again and keep it here and sprinkle on my food. So this is an amazing way to introduce more spices into your cooking and get the most benefit from those amazing, amazing herbs and spices.
Somebody was asking if they don't have access to Parmesan, can they use any other cheese, or could you recommend any other cheese?
Let's see. I'm sure there's vegan versions of how to make pesto sauce. I haven't tried it myself, so I wouldn't be able to really say if it's as good as it is with the cheese. But I'm pretty sure it will still taste wonderful because like the nuts that you're using, it gives that creaminess to your pesto. And then we're still using olive oil, which adds also that kind of moisture, that oily quality. And the basil itself is just incredible fragrance, aroma. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it would still work amazing. You should try. So let's just blend it up. Maybe you can mute me because it's really loud, just for a moment.
Can we use almonds or cashews for making pesto?
Almonds or cashews? Let's think. Like the most popular version is walnuts, pine nuts, and walnuts. So these I know for sure that people make pesto with those. Cashews, you know, people use cashews more for like desserts, making like raw cheesecake and you know things like that. What was the other one?
Almonds.
Almonds. Yeah, you could roast almonds and use almonds. I think that would.
What about peanuts?
Peanuts, not so good. Well, peanuts, according to Ayurveda, should be avoided because it's channel clogging and it's heavy on digestion. So try to avoid those in your diet. I know it's very convenient because it's cheap and it's widely available, but really if you want to maintain your channels flowing nice and easy, then better to avoid certain foods. So this is how it looks after like one blend. We need to blend a bit more and add some liquid here. So now we're just gonna add some basil. I'm using like a cup of fresh basil. So adding that in. And then what else we need here? We need some, I like to add also chili, Thai chili. You would be surprised, like I'm from Lithuania, right? And we never really use any kind of spicy things in our diet. Like I grew up on just salt and black pepper, practically. Like there's no concept of spices, of the healing power of potency of the spices. So now that I'm like introduced to Ayurveda and the Vedic lifestyle, it's like incredible. Like I feel I've been missing out all my life, not knowing the benefits of the spices. So chili, if you like, it's optional. Maybe not the whole, just a pinch. And we add a dash of water just to make it easier to blend.
Someone's asking, tulsi equivalent to basil or no?
That's a good question. So tulsi comes in the same family as basil, right? But it's slightly different. So especially for the Vaishnavas or Bhakti yogis, we don't really cook with tulsi because it's considered to be sacred. We worship tulsi. And basil, it comes in the same family like basil. I don't know what's the Latin name for that, but basil is great for eating. And also basil has fantastic health benefits. It's like really like if you're spending a lot of time on computers, if you have a lot of like, what do you call it? Electric radiation, ERF, something. So basil actually is able to clear that out of your system. Like you can even take a bath in the bathtub and put like basil in there, and that will actually help to drain the radiation from your body. And of course, adding to your diet, it's like incredible. So yeah, this basil pesto sauce that we're making is not just like wonderful to eat, but it's actually so good for your body. All right, now it's looking like it's almost done, right? So the final ingredient is olive oil. So ideally using extra virgin olive oil. And we're gonna add quarter of a cup. So be generous. And of course, let's not forget our salt. So here we need about a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. And we'll add a bit of black pepper. All right. And now the final blend. Ideally, if you have like these food processors, where you can just pour the olive oil while blending, that's the best because it helps the olive oil to kind of emulsify. But we only have this, so we're just gonna do like a really quick one here. Just to incorporate everything together. And that is it. See this lovely green color, invigorating color. Now we can transfer it to some kind of dish here. And proceed to the other preps. I don't know how we're doing with the time. So we're gonna proceed with the pancakes.
We have half an hour.
Perfect.
35 minutes.
All right, so we're heating up the pan here, and we're gonna cook with ghee. Ghee is really good for you. Don't be scared of the fat. It's actually wonderful fat. So we're just adding a little bit of ghee here, and give a mix here with your batter, see how it's going. Now you see it became a bit more liquidy. So just mix it again. And while the pan is heating, we can proceed with our cucumber salad. Let me just clear up the space here. So for the cucumber salad, we're gonna need.
They're asking for a written recipe on WhatsApp.
Yes, I'll be happy to share with you after the session. Okay, so check if it's getting hot. Still needs a bit of time, but we don't want to burn the ghee. We don't want the ghee to come to the point of smoking because that is not good. So yeah, be mindful of that. And now in the meantime, let's chop up our cucumber. I like to peel it. It's better because you never know how they grow. And maybe we cut it like in quarters. So slice it in half. And then one more time. And just chop it nicely. So cucumber, you probably know already, it's amazing for the summer because it has an incredible water content. It's like pure water, and it has electrolytes. It's really nourishing and hydrating. So in the hot summer days, there is nothing better than cucumber or coconut water. It really refreshes you. So this is, we're making like a side dish. Let's leave that for now and try to make our pancakes. Now that's the tricky part because you gotta kind of shape it. It's not so easy to do it. So we take maybe like this is maybe 3 tablespoons of the batter. Just pour it and then kind of spread it nicely. You don't want to spread it too thin. So maybe add a little bit more. And spread it to the sides so it's all even. It's not like bumpy parts where there is more batter. Yeah, that's looking like a circle slowly. So this is actually great for breakfast, for lunch as a side dish. Even for dinner, it's not too heavy. And we're gonna let it cook for a few minutes. I wonder how light here. Yeah. And I also like to sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. Sesame seeds are an amazing source of calcium. And we need calcium a lot because whenever we are eating something sweet, what it does, like the sugar, it actually pulls the calcium out of our body, out of our bones. So we need to kind of replenish with the calcium supplies. And sesame seeds are really like full of calcium, magnesium, and all that. But we need to like actually toast them before we eat so it's better absorbed. And now we can cover for a bit and let it cook nicely, maybe 3-4 minutes on one side, and then we're gonna flip. So let's come back to our cucumber salad. So now we're gonna place this cucumber sliced in here in the bowl. So I'm just making a small batch just to show you how it goes. So this is best to be served, to be made right before serving because because cucumber has a lot of water. And we don't want it to escape, like to make it like a watery salad. We want it like really nice, creamy salad here. So maybe we'll add the creamy part at the end. And now let's proceed with our dessert. So we have our coconut milk here. And we have chia seeds. You can find black chia seeds or white chia seeds. They are practically the same, it's just the color difference. Nutritional value is the same. And now let's grab a bowl. So this is a chia pudding dessert. So what we do is we take maybe like 1 cup of coconut milk. Getting a little messy. 1 cup of coconut milk. And then we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. And what the chia seeds do, they actually absorb a lot of water and they kind of, what do you call it? Like they become like gel or, you know, they become bigger basically. So we're adding about 3 tablespoons.
Swell up, no?
Yes, swell up. That's
Like suji, similar like suji.
Yes. So this is about 3 tablespoons. And now mix it really nice.
Do you add any sweetener?
Yes, we're gonna add some sweetener. Well, coconut milk is already kind of sweet and tasty, but we're still making this as a dessert. So we definitely want to add some kind of sweetener. So let's just mix all the seeds, see that they are nicely coated. And now,
Can you use any other milk if you don't have coconut
yes,
milk?
you can use any milk. You can even use juices. So I was thinking like, what shall I make today? Shall I make some mango chia pudding? Because mango is slowly becoming more available. But then my husband said that no, these mangoes are not good yet because it's not, you know, it's not the season yet. It's still some time. So this needs a bit more time. So yeah, so then the point is that you can make your chia pudding with any juices, pomegranate juice, orange juice, whatever is available, whatever is in season. Because Ayurveda is very much about, you know, eating seasonally, eating what is available. That's how we can be the most healthy. So now we're gonna add a dash of maple syrup, maybe like a tablespoon, just to sweeten it up. Again, give it a nice stir. And here you can use any sweetener of your choice. You can use agave nectar, you can use coconut sugar, jaggery, whatever is available. All right, and now we're gonna let this mixture sit in the fridge. It takes about 15 minutes for the seeds to swell up. So we'll see how it looks at the end.
Someone is asking, what is this? It's chia pudding, right?
It's chia pudding. It's like a dessert, but at the same time, it's really, really filling and very nutritious as well. Chia seeds have a lot of omega fatty acids. And so this makes an excellent breakfast because it keeps you full for a long time. And yeah, it's easy to prepare and very, very healthy. Sometimes you can keep it overnight as well in the fridge, and in the morning you have your breakfast ready.
Someone asking, you can use cow milk?
Cow milk, well, you see with the cow milk, it's wonderful. It has many amazing properties. It's like a miracle food, but it's not recommended to mix it with other things so much. Like it goes well with some grains. It goes well with some kind of vegetables, but better to avoid it. To just, when you're drinking milk, just drink pure milk. Don't mix it with other things, because if it's not compatible, it will just curdle in your stomach. It will cause indigestion. So
someone is asking, can you use curd?
Curd, I guess you could. You could use curd, yes. And now we flip it. The difficult part sometimes is to flip it. So the best is to use this kind of metal spatula. And we let the other part to cook as well. We're using a low flame here, not too high. Really cooking on the low flame. All right, and now, so our chia pudding is getting ready in the fridge. And let's finish up with our cucumber salad. Maybe we'll do that right at the end. Let's do the takra or buttermilk. Buttermilk is actually, I'm pretty sure you know the wonderful benefits of the buttermilk, but I'm just gonna revise a little bit. Let me just transfer this nectar here. So buttermilk is full of good bacteria. It's like excellent for your digestive system. because, well, you see, our immunity consists of our gut, so good bacteria. And if we're lacking that good bacteria, which is like so common, then we will be facing a lot of issues, health issues. We won't have enough energy. We'll get sick very often. And yeah, it's just like we won't be able to, our immunity will not be strong. So we'll be getting like occasional flus and whatnot. So it's important to replenish your gut flora. So Ayurveda suggests drinking buttermilk or takra on a daily basis. But just like with yogurt is only recommended to consume in the middle of the day, so at noon. So same with takra, you shouldn't drink it in the morning or at night, but best is at lunchtime with your meals or after meal, like a cup or even half a cup. You see how you feel. And yes.
Someone is asking for typed recipe again. So just
Yes,
reminding.
yes. All right,
them.
we heard it.
Just remind them, maybe he just joined later.
Yes, thank you.
So where they can find the recipes later after the class?
So I will share with the, what do you call it? The Harmony Festival group, this wonderful festival organized by Government Village. We're so grateful to be part of it. So yeah, we'll share it there. So now we have our blender ready for the takra. Before we proceed with that, let's just see how our moong pancakes are doing. Yeah, it's done. So we transfer it to a plate and proceed with the next one. So again, just a tiny bit of ghee, or you can cook in coconut oil, especially in summer season. Coconut oil is cooling. So we just add a nice big tablespoon, spread it carefully. So with these moong pancakes, I also sometimes make like a pie. So I use the same batter, but I bake it in the oven. So it is less time consuming because you just put it in the oven and 20 minutes or half an hour, it's done. You don't need to like stand, you know, on the stove and doing the pancakes. So some options there. Again, we sprinkle some sesame seeds. Boy, a little bit too much. We can cover for a few moments. And let's make our takra. So for takra, you can improvise and add different spices. You can medicate your takra with spices. So today we're gonna make a really simple one, which is called like a digestive takra. So we add quarter of a cup of yogurt. So yogurt is very little, so it's just a quarter of a cup.
You mean dahi or yogurt? Are you homemade yogurt or what kind of dahi?
They're using dahi, yes. So it's the same for me. And then we adding like quarter of a cup of dahi, and then so the rest is water. Do this much. And then we're making just 1 cup here. And now we're adding some salt. So maybe like a half a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. And then we will add a little bit of ginger powder to aid digestion. It's a tiny pinch. And we will add some cumin powder. Where did I put it? I guess I put it away here. So jeera goes in, like half a teaspoon. And then we want to add some also cilantro, just a pinch. That's it. That is your medicated takra. We blend it up. That's how it looks. It's really watery, but that's how we want it. We want it to be really light because yogurt sometimes, or dahi, sometimes can be a bit heavy on digestion. So prakra is really amazing. It's like miracle food, probiotic.
Someone asking how to make dahi.
How to make dahi? All right, so I've never made it myself at home. But basically, you need to have some culture, good bacteria, or you can just use dahi already. So you already have, the curd, and then you put it in the milk, and you keep it warm somewhere, perhaps in the oven, or just somewhere nicely covered. And I'm not sure how much time it takes, maybe overnight, and then the next morning you'll have already your own homemade yogurt. I'm actually inspired to make my own, so thanks for mentioning that. It's really nice to make these staple kind of things at home. So now that we're almost done, let's get back to our cucumber salad. So we have our chopped cucumber here. We're just gonna add some spices. So I'm gonna use black pepper. And for creamy part, we're gonna use cottage cheese. So if that is not, excuse me.
God bless you.
If that is not available, then you could use sour cream, or you could simply use paneer blended with some milk, and that will become your kind of cottage cheese. So this is like a very creamy, delicious salad that is very refreshing in summer months. So we're just adding like a couple of tablespoons here. Give it a nice mix. And we'll also add some salt and some herbs. So ideally, like the traditional recipe, you would use dill. It's a herb dill, and we would use fresh dill in this salad. It's really like the combination of cucumber and dill. It's fantastic. But I couldn't find dill here, unfortunately. So we'll experiment.
You get it in Delhi and Mumbai, I'm sure, in the bigger places.
Probably. So here we're in a small village, so it's not so widely available. So maybe we'll just try using dry basil. We'll see how it goes. So just sprinkle on top.
Someone's saying for making dahi you need 5 to 6 hours.
5 to 6 hours. See how easy it is. We should definitely.
They're asking to repeat what is the creamy and what are the alternatives. What did you put in there? Can you say
a little
one more
bit
time?
salt. Yeah, we'll recap it in a moment. So we're adding a little bit of salt. So salt actually draws the moisture out of the cucumbers. So we want to add it right at the end before serving. Give it a nice mix. So the creamy part in the cucumber is cottage cheese, 100 rupees, pretty expensive, but you can make your own. You can blend your paneer with a bit of milk and it becomes creamy cottage cheese. So that's an option for you.
I guess you can also use yogurt, right? If worst case scenario.
You could use yogurt. It doesn't have that like creamy sour flavor though, but also refreshing. It becomes like raita, which is like Indians very much familiar with that. And now, so we are stopping the pancake process here. And let's have a look how our chia pudding is doing. So see how nicely like gel-like it became. So it's really nice and creamy. And now we're just gonna top it up with some toppings. So use your imagination, be creative here, top it up with whatever you feel inspired to. What I have available today is some pomegranate seeds and some mango jam that I made from like dry mango. You know, I don't know if you get it in other places in India, but here in Mayapur, we have these blocks of mango, like it's dry mango with already like, it's already sweetened. So I just melted it with some water and that's my mango jam. Pretty simple. So now let's just top it up with the mango gel on the side and some pomegranate seeds for some nice, lovely flavor and some crunch. That's it. That's our breakfast, our dessert. And if we have the time, let me just check how we're doing. Perfect. We have 5 minutes. So let us know if you have any questions. If not, we're just going to proceed and make our offering plate. So we're going to put the prep that we made today on the tray for Krishna. So that's our basil pesto. I just want to add some on top. So we'll add a nice basil here on top. And then we put our chia pudding dessert. And then our creamy cucumber salad.
You were asking, is there any herbs in the salad you put?
Yes, we put dried basil or basil.
Or dill if it's available.
Yeah, if you have dill available, that's the best. Either dry or fresh dill, it just tastes amazing. So that goes on. You can fill it to the top. And then we're gonna put our pancake. So first we also, whenever we're cooking for Krishna, he really likes tulsi leaves. So we put a tulsi leaf on each of the preps. And then we'll put some water. We'll put some water on the plate and we'll put some takra or buttermilk for Krishna to try. And then our pancake hopefully can also have some space here. That's it. And we'll put a tulsi in here and in here. And we're ready to offer. So let's place it on the altar. Have a final look. Let's maybe here's more light. And here we're going to conclude our session. I really enjoyed cooking with you. So just a final recap what we made. We have our dessert, creamy chia pudding with some mango jam and pomegranate seeds on top. Then we have basil pesto, which goes really nice with the pancake here. It's like a top sauce. And then we have creamy cucumber salad, which is really refreshing for the summer heat. And then we also made our buttermilk for takra with some cumin and ginger and salt. Yeah. So I hope you learned something. I hope it was of value. And thank you so much for allowing me to serve you. Hare Krishna.